Well, architects are protected under copyright because internationally buildings are protected as an artistic work under the Copyright Act. They're treated as different to a three-dimensional piece, like a furniture piece. So a decision has been made internationally. That's the way that we protect architecture. It is very difficult for designers in Australia in that if you do not file an application to register your design under the Designs Act, you lose your ability to sue infringers who reproduce your design.
But for all those sort of new and young designers starting off, you don't know, and you can't possibly afford to register every single idea you have.
Well, expand upon that a bit for us. I mean, what's the process? What's the cost of registering a new design for you?
Within Australia or New Zealand, it's not a big cost. It takes time, but we export worldwide. And to fully cover a design registration globally would cost about $10,000.
Replica furniture companies exist and they can function if people do not have a registered design.
I was playing with form and structure and created this thing, which I thought, well, that's quite pretty, but what do I do with it? And I stuck a light bulb in it, and maybe that'll sell, and it did. And so there's a newspaper article that covered it, and then I sold another one, and so it went on. And it became a very popular piece.
Tell me about your first experience of seeing your work replicated.
It didn't come till later. It came when the lights became more popular, and there's obviously, once we'd done the work and created the demand, then other companies saw that there's something to be cashed in on here and did so. I mean, there's a case that's happening at the moment where a company in Australia called Domain is marketing a light that's an exact copy of one of mine in a different material, but they're not saying it's a replica. They're just marketing it as their own light. And surely they've got the funds to go out and pay a designer to design their own light rather than use somebody else's design and then pretend it's their own.
Wide. We did speak to a guy called Anthony Collins preparing for today. He's from a company called Stylecraft, and he came together with a whole lot of other companies to set up a thing called the Authentic Design Alliance a few years ago. This is a problem clearly in the industry that is recurring.
I think that's absolutely fair. It gives you the chance to do a bit of market testing before you invest in the process of registration. And I think it would really help young, new designers getting started in the market because they're the ones who are basically being hurt by this most. And that's our future. That's where the future companies are, the future good ideas are that are going to run the future income for a lot of people. And I think that's really important to protect.